Oh my God, wherever you're watching from, come on, are you excited today? This is welcoming you to Mama Helen and you all the way from the United Kingdom today. I am extremely excited. What are you? What are you, family? I need you to now click on your share button and begin to do the needful. It promises to be incredible today. Okay, you want to bring in everyone to be a part of today's Mama Helen and you because it's so special. It speaks to the moment. And I think that's where the excitement is. Hey, where are you? Come on, let's do this today. Let's do this today. Let's do this today. Are you happy already? Because I am. As you're joining in, just click on the share button. Click on the share button. We're actually talking about something that is very important, knowing fairly well that a lot of homes, lives are in disarray as a result of today's topic. And you want everyone enlightened. You want it out there at the rooftop. You want everyone to know, that they just have to learn the importance of gender equality and the need to embrace each other's differences as the case may be. So as you're joining it, just click on the share button. I can't wait to see all of you today. So click on the share button. I am feeling it already. Click, 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 click on the share button, on the share button. Manda bullshit. Okay. Is something wrong? Device is not collected. Oh dear. No, no, no. It's live. Can you hear me? And if you can hear me, please let me know. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Because I wonder why someone is calling me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please let me know. Just let me know. What's the problem? Can you hear me? But well, it's really going to be wholesome today. So if you can hear me, just let me know. Let me know. I thought someone was trying to get in touch with me to think, that people are not hearing me. But if you can hear me, so this is it. So again, this is welcoming you to Mama Helen and you all the way from the United Kingdom today. So that is really, really going to be wonderful. Let me start by saying that in the olden days, many parts of the world, especially in Africa, most women are generally treated inferior to men. They were seen lesser than inadequate to perform certain functions in the society. Many were married off as children. Many were denied education. Some excluded from spiritual experiences and what have you. Not to talk of, holding frame, whether in any profession at all around the world or even being an entrepreneur. But today it's a different ballgame entirely. The role of women in modern day has totally changed. We now have women as prime ministers today. We have them holding, sway in every sector of the society. But then we still know there are some people who are struggling. They're still struggling over the changes as it were. And so on Mama Helen and you today, we will be discussing the topic, the rise of women. It's not the fall of men. The rise of women is not the fall of men. And on Mama Helen and you today, I have wonderful guests with me. Wonderful guests with me that'll be helping to do justice at today's topic. Okay, and I can't even wait to have them enjoy me. Okay, because we want to look at some of these factors, that seems to be affecting women in different homes as it were. Now, let me start by introducing. Okay, let me just bring up the one after the other. Okay.
Hello.
Let me start by introducing Mrs. Grace Alexander. Alexander is a compassionate advocate for persons living with disabilities in the UK and Africa. Um, she has both English language and education at University of Ile-Ife, a degree program that is. She's an avid disability champion with a view to promoting social cohesion for persons with disabilities within their wider communities. I am excited about that. It's such a pleasure having you. Can you hear me, Mrs.
Yeah, hello.
Grace?
How are you? I can hear you.
I am well, and how are you too?
Excited to be here
It's such
again.
a pleasure having you. And then, of course, next to her is no other person than Mrs. Marissa Goldstone. She's highly dedicated to community activities in Cavan. She, as a founded member of the Cavan Cross Cultural Community and the Women of Bethlehem, she brings a wealth of experience in promoting cultural awareness and connecting people from different backgrounds and what have you. I can go on and on talking about this woman, but the most important thing here is that these women are being a blessing around the world. Marissa, can you hear me?
Of course I can. I can hear you.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now it's really going to be wow, people. Are you ready for this? Because I'm actually really ready for you. Okay, now let's start by defining who is a woman. Who is a woman, people? Who is a woman? You can always jump in at any time, T. Who is a woman? Come on, tell us.
A woman is
Oh
is
my God, I'm having
is a
difficulty hearing you.
feminine.
Let me
It's a
try.
feminine. Hello. Are you hearing me?
I'm
I can,
having,
I
sorry,
can
just a
hear
moment.
you.
Let me make a little bit adjustment. Maybe I'm having difficulty in hearing you.
Okay.
Yes, just a moment. Okay, can you try speaking and let me see whether I can hear you better?
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Oh, now we're back on. Yes, go ahead.
So it's a woman. It's somebody that looks like me. That has it's a feminine that has that has breasts, that has that has breasts, yes, exactly. And it's a feminine, and how do you describe a woman? Yes, I think an evidence-based approach to this is somebody who looks like me and who is
Someone who looks like you.
yes.
And who
Yes,
has the future.
you can be in different shapes and
Yeah.
sizes, but somebody who is it's somebody who is a feminine, and somebody
Mhm.
who has womb, can carry children, can deliver, and that's
The
what
character.
uh,
Yes, I love that. I wouldn't know if Mrs. Marissa would like to drop something in there. Who would you, consider as a woman?
That's the big question now, isn't it? It's going round the world. What is a woman and who is a woman? It's a young girl, it's a female adolescent, it's a
Mm-hmm.
adult female, it's someone who produces children, who has reproductive organs. It's
Yes.
someone like the three of us right now. We are women. And
Mm-hmm.
I prefer to be known as a woman. I know names are changing. And I heard a pastor speak the other day. I actually was
Mm-hmm.
listening to social media, and he said, "Who is a woman?" He said, "I know who a woman is. It's my mama." So turn
Oh,
around, look at your mother. That's a woman. Your sister, that's a woman.
that's a woman. That's a woman with
Yeah.
all the
and
features
one of
in
the things
place.
is that it's a female, a human
As
being,
A human,
a
an
human being.
adult human female.
a
That's a
human
woman.
female. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. What are the roles of women in development in developing society and family?
Anyone?
What did you say? Can you say it again?
What are the roles of women in the development of the society and family?
Yes, and women's roles, it's very multifaceted. In the
Okay.
sense, it's multifaceted in the sense that we are the backbone of the society, and we are
Mm-hmm.
also the backbone of a family. We
That's
provide
right.
care,
Mhm.
provide support, we
Mm-hmm.
nurture families, and we are also essential to the development of children. Exactly, when they become leaders. So
Absolutely.
women plays a lot of role in community building. So the
Mm-hmm.
role it's so versatile. We nurture, we are educators, we are caregivers, we carry children in the womb, we nurture them to become leaders. So we are part of nation builders as well. So, and we take on leadership roles in our community. So I would say those are the roles. Although most of the time the roles of women are being obscured too often, and unfortunately they are glossed over, sometimes they are forgotten, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they are being denied those roles. So the environment has not been really conducive for them to actually perform the role effectively. So, and they provide stability, and we will delve into that as we get on. Yes, they provide
Oh,
progress within home and within the community as well.
Miss Marisa,
I couldn't
Marisa, what,
say it better than that. She was so dead on. Nurturers, caregivers, mentors, educators,
everything,
everything. We're
everything.
responsible for the future nations, the future
That's
children, the future prime ministers. We are the people that do that. We're the greatest caregivers. We hold families together. We hold a community.
wow.
We are capable of everything and anything. We're not competing with the men, but we are capable of everything and anything. She
And
couldn't have said it better.
I want to chip in this. I want to chip in this when Mandela, the late Mandela, said, "When
Yes,
you train a woman, you train a nation."
absolutely.
Yes, and that's actually yes. When you train a woman, you train a nation. So our God that created a man and a woman knows the importance of women in the
Of
life of
women.
man, in the life of children, in the life of in the life of children, in the life of communities, in the life of nations, and even in the life of a man. So
In the
Absolutely.
life of I mean, I'm just hearing, I'm hearing someone, someone from the comment section says women can be governors, prime minister, everything. Bridget,
Anything.
actually, you're
Absolutely anything.
right.
We're the future. We're the role models.
yes,
You know,
Really, they were.
we're the ones that gel the family together. We're not living in the old ages, but there was a time when men went out to work and the woman kept the village together. And although
Hmm,
times have changed, we still do it. We
and
still watch
fantastic.
the kids and play as role models and educate them because we the gel that keeps things together.
yeah. And I want to
Oh,
also emphasize some other points. The woman
okay.
performed the role of a wife. The
Uh,
woman performed the role of a partner, the role of an
Hmm.
organizer, administrator, director, recreator, disposer, economist, mother,
Ah,
disciplinarian, teacher, health
he's
officer,
killing it.
artist, queen in the family at the same time. So apart from that, the woman plays a role in the socio-economic development of the society.
Yeah.
So
So
the
true.
role
So
of a
true.
woman
I
is
think
quite
it is
huge.
all encompassing. I think it is all encompassing. So what you're all
Yes.
saying as women is that outside of being a mother, a wife, an aunt, a sister, a woman can also be everything else that men
Absolutely.
are out there. That's what you're saying, isn't
Yes,
it?
and I want
So
to
now
summarize
let's
this.
look at
I
it
want
from
to
the
summarize this
biblical.
in different ways. I want to summarize
Okay.
as reproductive,
Okay.
productive, and community managing role.
Mhm.
Fantastic. Awesome. Awesome. That
Yes, we
is
are very capable. We are very, very capable. Women are capable. Some don't
oh,
want the roles, which is fine, But if a woman is in a crisis, normally she surges forward and she can do anything.
She can do anything. Awesome. Okay, well, let's look at the biblical aspect in here. How do the Word of God present women, as it were? What is the mirror? How are we mirrored as women, in the Bible?
We are mirrored. When God created Adam, he said it's not good for Adam to be alone. He created Eve. So he took from the ribs of Adam, he formed Eve. So in the Bible, we were told we are helpmates. That is, we are in a supporting role.
Yes.
We have the role of support, helpmates to men. You understand? To our husbands. We are so. And one thing is that, and God knows that we are partners. We are companion. In essence, in a supportive role. We are partners. We are companion, and we are friends as well. Because for us, the purpose of marriage is to provide friendship, to provide companionship, and we are partners in this business called marriage. So we are partners, the two of us. So we are supposed to support our husband in a supporting role. And having said that, continue.
Yes.
Well,
yes. I mean,
from my side in the biblical role. Oh, sorry, you carry on.
Okay, go ahead, please go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
you were saying that from the Bible point of view, and the dear lady there, she's very good. I'm inspired by women in the Bible, and I don't think we talk enough about it. We have some great stories in the Bible concerning women. There's Tamar. A lot of people don't even know who she is, but through all her actions, we have the lineage of the prophet, which is her seduction of her father-in-law. And I love that story. And to some people, might be like, oh, she's a bad woman. But her actions fulfill the prophecy. And then we have Ruth. We have Esther, Naomi. These are great women, inspiring stories. And you can see just from them saving nations, strategizing. Look how good they were. And these women lived almost 3,000 years ago. And look how they strategized, how a nation was saved, how people were saved. It just shows the power of woman has always been there.
And I also want to mention somebody like, if you read Judges chapter 4 and 5, somebody like Deborah, who saved the Israelites from the terrorists. And they say she's a very strong woman. She's a judge.
Okay. So yes, I love that. Yeah. Whilst you're trying to say that, Mrs. Alexander, there's an aspect of it that it seems to be causing a lot of problem, in our society, and this has to do with the women's role. Okay, is it only confined to chores at home? Is it only confined to chores at the home front?
It's not really confined. If the Bible says helpmates, it means you have to be in unity. You have to be in communion. So you have to, when the man is making a decision as the head of the family, it means you have to consider your wife. Your wife has a role, has a say. That's where the two of them must agree together. You understand? So it did not say submit only, because sometimes there is a misrepresentation of what is written in the Bible. The Bible says submit to one another. That means we women, we are not subjects. We are not subjects. That we are not subjects. That means you have to listen. That we have a role of supporting role. So we have to be fully represented at the table, because our opinion too matters. But then, because of the patriarchal society that we live in, they've allocated the role of women to that of domestics. Like in the kitchen, You have to, like when our former when our former head of state said his wife, when they said, what about is in the kitchen, which is quite demeaning. Yeah, which is quite demeaning. And it went viral. So they think you don't take us as only subjects who don't have a say. And that's why we operate a patriarchal society where they see masculinity as power. So women are relegated to the background. So this has been from time immemorial. You understand that women don't have a say, and that's why most women cultivate what I call a culture of silence, where you cannot say anything. It has to be what the man says. But that is not what God says. He said he makes us in a supportive role. A supportive role does not mean as women we have to be dormant. We have to be active. We cannot be dormant. We have to be active. We have to play active role in supporting, lifting each other up. You understand? Lifting each other up without minimizing the role of your partner, of your wife. So we are on the table. We are partners. So marriage is a form of partnership. So it doesn't mean you are the only one that has to carry everything. And that's why Deborah could be able to defeat the Israelites. Deborah is a high-ranking woman. Deborah is a judge. He is also a seer. He's also a prophetess. But
and a wife. And possibly a mother as well.
Exactly. But one thing is that the husband was not intimidated by that role, but provide an enabling environment for that woman to function.
That's awesome. Okay, so because of time, where is the problem then? Because if a woman can be anything and everything, why is it a big challenge for the women or for the men folks to allow our women to strive? Why? What is the problem? Please, Miss Morista, can you speak to that, please?
I'm not getting the question. You want to know why men are struggling with women that are
on the right?
Why are men struggling to allow our women strive, to allow them do well in society?
I think it depends on where you are too, because culture can play a very big role in that. A lot of men want to be men. They want to bring the bacon home, you see, and the woman must fix the clothes, stay in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant. And there's a lot of cultures who find it very acceptable, but the rest of us has evolved, and we want to be educated, we're more career-minded, and it can, at some stage, not all the time, make men feel intimidated, because he's no longer a man because he's not bringing the bacon home, so it can cause problems because some men enjoy that role. And then there are other men who don't, who want her to bring her share home. So they won't stand in her way. In fact, they will enjoy that because they'll have more money in their pockets. But there are situations where they're not happy about women being out there, being career-minded and that. And there are women, unfortunately, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, women who enjoy just letting the man be the man of the house. And they will just cart along.
Can I add something to that?
There's nothing wrong. If I may comment, let me just quickly comment, ladies. There's nothing wrong in a woman letting the man be the man of the house. I think the only shock here, or should I say, the only exception to this is that most often, some men who probably have low self-esteem could feel threatened when they see that their wives are doing marvelously well.
Do you know why they are threatened?
The question to you here, Mrs. Alexander, is why is it a challenge when men see women doing well? What is the challenge?
It could be. I'm going to say yes or no. I'm going to look at it objectively, and one of the things is that the formation of a man why it's a challenge for men is that naturally the formation of a man is determined by nature. That's gene or epigenetics. That
Okay.
is, in the sense that it could be it could be the father who has been the role model, who is very authoritative, who that's the way they go, from a family where the man is actually the father is always saying the woman cannot have a say, the woman cannot do this, the woman cannot do that. And also nurture. How is that man being nurtured? You understand how that
Yeah.
person being nurtured, the man. And also the culture, the environment does not allow women to thrive, because some of them they've actually they've actually their behavior is underpinned by the power, that control. You understand? So, and men can come from different angles: the environment, the nurturing, and
Mm-hmm.
also it could be the gene. You understand? And some people are from a traumatic setting where the woman is relegated to the background, the woman does not have a say, and now the husband, the children carry that into that pattern into their own family. So, and one of the things is that our people, they attribute power to masculinity. And for
Mm.
that, for me, I think that's wrong. They think they have to be in control. And some people, they feel threatened by the fact that the woman is the one bringing. And if they understand that a woman is a partner, and if they understand the power of two, the family will
Mm.
thrive. The power of two. You
Yes.
understand? We
A
always
man with a low self-esteem would
yes,
find it very difficult to
difficult.
understand.
They don't
Yeah,
understand
very
the power of
difficult.
two. Yes, they don't understand the power of two. They don't realize that if you bring value, if you create a conducive environment for your wife, it will benefit you. But they feel threatened because they think they will lose that control. And they don't want to lose that control.
Okay. I noticed that Miss Morissa would like to say something. So let's give her the floor. Please go ahead.
Uh, we're still on the same thing. Yes, a lot of men do like to control. It's an ego thing. You know,
Mm.
as you said earlier, it's about self-esteem. If the self-esteem is low, nothing she does is going to work. Nothing she says is gonna work. He needs to be in control. He needs to have the say, the entire say. As I said, barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen is what he would prefer. So I think that's a very difficult thing when it's cultural, or if it's within a community, is how does she change that? If a whole community thinks like that, or an entire family or group things like that, how does she cope with it? I think that's the hardest part. But you're always going to have men with low self-esteem. You're always going to have men with those issues of she cannot be better than me, I am the man of the house.
Hmm. Awesome. Someone actually wrote in here. This is coming from Olatuji, and he says, men want to feel in control. And unfortunately, sometimes this has an impact on how they run their homes. They might feel a woman making more than them is an issue and role reverse. What do you have to say? Can you speak to that as well?
That is the worst crime for
Still
men.
talking about politics.
They cannot
Still
handle.
talking about
Oh, sorry, you want to say something?
Hello. Oh, do you want me to say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
yes,
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 like for
you can
instance,
jump in. You
men
can jump
are
in.
naturally,
Esther is also saying, he said, men want to feel in control and refresh something. It goes on. Yes, go ahead. It's actually the
one
lady
thing is
I
that
gone with.
men
Yeah.
are naturally egocentric,
Hmm.
and the ego comes in the way. They
Hmm.
feel,
Hmm.
and so, and if somebody that is a narcissist, that will go over the board. The home will not be at peace. So they want to
Hmm.
be in control. They want to have a say in everything. They feel if a woman is on the rise, their role is now jeopardized. They feel threatened if a woman is progressing and they are not progressing. And they don't realize that when you give a woman £1, the woman can turn it into 1 million. And it will be for the benefit of, and that's why men needs to understand the power of two, the commitment to that marriage, to any relationship, the power of two. Because one thing is that when a man brings value and the woman brings value, when you create an enabling environment, the family will strive. But when you feel threatened and when you have narcissistic nature, that will affect that ego. They feel threatened by their ego, and that affects the home. And they start creating a problem. They start creating problems where there is no problem. They start saying, "Oh, you can't go out." Why, And the person will not be able to concentrate. They just feel jealous. They feel envious, and that will affect. That will cause them a lot of what I call a lot of mental health issues. And what comes out of that mental issue for that man? Anger. Anger will come in.
If I'm coming here, can tradition also be a problem here? Can tradition also be a problem here? Because I think
tradition sometimes is the problem. Most times I work with the people that are coming into the country. I do a lot of work with refugees and direct provision. And one of my roles is to talk about these issues because this is a different country, different laws. Children are treated in a certain way. And I was like, I come from a country where smacking a child is acceptable. Putting a child in its corner is acceptable. And you come to Europe, it's a crime. So there's a whole lot of changes that have to take place. And one of them is a lot of them still have their control. I told her too, and she didn't. Like, she has no choices. Now they're living in Europe and he doesn't understand why he can't hit her. It's a crime here. Whereas when he was back and where he came from, he could. And his mother would come and give her the next slap because you were not very good to your husband. Yeah, right. You must be very good to your husband. And this is Europe. And some of them have actually stepped out. I'm doing 2 cases at the moment where they have called the Garda, the police, and who now have cases. And strangely enough, I'm dealing with her, but I'm dealing with him too. And it might sound strange. Why am I dealing with him? Because he's in shock. Like, why is she doing this? This is not our culture. This is not the way we think. So he is very confused. This is normal to him. So how do you change that mindset? We do a lot of teaching. We gather people together. We bring the Garda to explain the laws to them. We bring social workers just to have chats in groups to try and change this mindset, because traditionally he could do this. Now he can't. And it's nice though to see the woman standing up and actually taking a stand, because they realize all of a sudden, geez, I'm free. It suddenly hit them, He can't hit me anymore.
Yes. But that was why I mentioned earlier that the formation of the man is also determined. Culture is part of it. In some tradition, that's allowed. But in a different part of the world, like here, it's not really allowed. It's seen as domestic violence. It's seen as domestic violence. So even in Africa, when you and your husband are fighting, and then you said the man wants to have sex with you, and you said no, they see it as a violation of your role as a wife. The man can come anytime, irrespective of whatever differences are between them, and can say, you know what, I want to do. And whereas the woman says no, you cannot. They don't see it as rape. They don't see it. So culture too has a role to play. Tradition, especially where.
Let me interject this. If you don't mind, ladies. All right. A young lady doing extremely well, and I mean extremely well in her career, married to a man who is also doing very well, but somehow feel very intimidated with this lady's success. And so just to make her feel, just, I'm trying to speak to exactly what you have just, described here. Just to make her feel that he is the man of the house. When she returns from work, he would, the way, the mannerism, the way he speaks to her, very demeaning, very absolutely demeaning. Will be ordering her around, treating her shabbily. Come on, get up here. Now sit, get, all sorts of behavior. What would make a man feel that the only way he can prove that he's the man of the house is to constantly make the woman feel nothing? Not just only at home, but even in society. Everywhere, he feels that the only way he can be respected as a man is to constantly talk down on his wife, abuse his wife, ridicule his wife, shame his wife, embarrass his wife, and that makes him feel good. And unfortunately, our society seems to applaud such a man. How do we put a stop to this? Because a lot of women are really traumatized by this. They are not speaking out because they do not want anyone to know what they are going through at home. But the fact remains that a lot of women are going through torture in the hands of their husbands only simply because the man feels threatened by the woman's success. So how do we prevent this? What do we need to do? Like I earlier said, you have our society applauding, in fact, to them. Oh, he's a man. Yes, that's been a man. In fact, when a man treats that, his wife badly or rudely or in an embarrassing situation, he is applauded by the society.
That happens. Some people think it's a big joke. Jack the lad, as they say in England, the man's man. I'll put her in her place. There's a jealousy attached to it, especially if she has a career. And the worst that you can do to him is earn more money than him. Now, you want to hurt a man, hit him in his pockets, earn more than him, and he is a goner. He actually builds a hatred for you. And it's hard to deal with men like that. I'd like to say, get up, run, get out of there. But some women don't want that. They're happy to be in a marriage. They like the idea of marriage, and they have children, and they want a nuclear family. So what does one do? And this is why I do approach the husbands, as I'm doing with this two particular cases. I'm working with her, and I'm working with him. So that we can reach some understanding where, look, they might not get together again. They might not like each other ever again, but if they can be civil to each other, we've gotten somewhere, because there are kids here in the middle. So he is in a bit of a culture shock because, as I said earlier, he's used to hitting her, smacking her around and what have you. So if you leave him be and we'd look after her, that snake is still loose. He might pick another woman tomorrow, might be one of our daughters, neighbors, best friends, and he'll do the same thing. So we have to educate him that this is wrong. Now, that you can do. I can do that here. But I know in my own country, in South Africa, there'll be places where I cannot do that because culture will dictate. So I won't be able to do that. So how do you help that person? Becomes almost impossible. So basically, you've got to move her. But if there's a possibility that you don't have to move that woman, there might not be a reconciliation, but we can be civil. They can be civil to each other, which gives the children, there's no family, nuclear family, but it gives them an okay feeling that, okay, my parents are talking. We're not fighting anymore. We can share these children, and the children feel, well, I still have them. Whereas there's animosity, they get divided in the animosity, and they grow up believing that's normal, that's behavior, and they will do the same thing. So it's very important that we educate the man, train him, do something for him too, to change. If the possibility is there, the means and the resources are there, we should make use of them.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic, fantastic. Yes, please go ahead, Mrs.
Yes.
Silas.
What I will also advise is that through the education, one should tell them the power, the strength, the role of women. And through
Yeah.
that education, one thing is that without actually understanding, and I will continue to say that the power of two,
Hmm. The
our
power
makeup, the power of two.
that is
We
also,
have our makeup are so different. You understand what I'm saying? But
I do.
unless the man see the woman in a complementary role,
Hmm.
if he doesn't see it in a complementary role, that
It
he
becomes a
has
problem.
something to bring in, then
Yes.
that is so difficult.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it's about the fact that thank God, things are changing in the 21st century. And there is also a lot of things that are going on about women empowerment, women about ideas. So men too should be at the table of why it is not good to actually treat, because we are not in competition. It's when the Bible says supporting role, means we are complementary to that role of headship. We are complementary to that role of Christ. So we are not in competition. And the value you give to your wife, the value you give to your wife, the endeavor we act to that value, and that's the value you get back from him, from her. So if the chips are down, if the headship is there's something that happened to the head, the woman will be able to stand up and take that role and be able to do that to the benefit of and the man will enjoy. So many
Okay.
things will come, the advantages.
That's very true. Now, Chinwed is saying here, it will be good if enlightenment campaigns are organized to educate the men on how to live with their partners. Secondly, socializing the male Christians to children rather to respect girl children, uh, um, that they are equal, so that when they grow up, they will respect and treat their wives as equals. Those are two powerful points here from Chinwe, by the way, enlightening, and this is one of the things, that's what exactly, that's why we're having today's show on Mama Helen and you, trying to create that awareness, that enlightening, because see, there is no threat to this. In fact, it should be a thing of joy. It should be a thing of pride, to a man or for a man. Actually, when you see your wife doing very, very well, before they start hailing and celebrating her, they see you, as the one allowing her to rise, and they will applaud you as a man. So I think if the awareness is out there for men to know that, hey, just like what all wonderful women have spoken, so far, if that is there, automatically that would enable them to be able to allow their wives do better. All right, I want to go into other questions. There are some questions here that I want us to immediately address, and this is actually uh, this has to do with family now. This has to do with family. You've seen some men who even treat their wife very well. They are nice, they're proper, they tend to, to allow her be herself. Maybe she's an entrepreneur, she's a career woman, and the man, a man is rooting for her. Then the family says, what's going on here? They start questioning the rationale behind that. Before you know it, they're even suggesting that maybe this one must have, played some voodoo or something on the man for the man to be this nice and generous towards the wife, or at least allowing the woman, to follow her path career-wise. Okay? Now, isn't that alarming? And how do you prevent such interactions from families?
Yeah, I think the man has a role to play in this. And one of the things is that a man, the role of a man is to provide covering, to provide
That's
protection,
That's right.
apart to provide provision and security and emotional needs. So
That's right.
if the head is so lax, and the head is not somebody that has these qualities of being a leader in the home, other families will filtrate, and they will cause shame to the wife. So the man must be able to defend, because the Bible says the two of you are one flesh, not two fleshes, one
Yeah.
flesh. So the man should be able to defend, to protect. When he set the pattern of protection, providing security, providing emotional needs to her wife, definitely no family will come and try to dismantle, or try to tell the woman off, or try to interfere into their household. So it's a man that needs to do that. If it's actually the head. So those are the basic rules. Apart from providing providing food or shelter, one of the things is to make sure that covering, protection, security for the wife. So
Hmm.
yes.
I love that. That's the husband's role now, the man in the house. Like we've just heard from Mrs. Alessandra, the need for the man to speak out for the woman, the need for the man to protect the woman, the need for it's not just providing, to provide security, to speak on behalf of the woman in order to be able to put the family members to check. What do you have to say concerning that, Miss Morrison?
Well, you were talking about the man being good to the woman, and people are looking at him and saying, what is wrong? Because some places, when a man is good and he does promote and support and nurture his wife, he's seen as a weak man. It's a
Hmm.
very unfortunate situation, but everyone wants a strong man, a strong guy. They forget that they might be
Hmm.
too strong, too controlling. So a good man tends to come across as weak, and where his family, I think that's where you were going with that. You will look at him and go, "What's wrong with him? Did she voodoo this one? Why is he so weak?"
Oh my
I've
God!
seen that in my own country. It's like, what's wrong with him? She must have given him something in the food, because
Yeah.
he's loving her, he's nurturing her, he's helping her with the career. It's like, this man is a fool.
He's rooting for her, he's encouraging her, he's
That's
pushing her, and then suddenly he's seen as a weakling.
He's seen as a weakling, as a fool. They have a term at home. They say he's a mampumpan. They use
Yes,
that word mampumpan as a stupid. And there's another word, English word they use. They say petticoat government. They say this man is in petticoat government, ruled by a woman, and she's not ruling him. He's just rooting for her. He
it's
loves
just
what she's doing. He's in awe of what she's doing. It now makes him an idiot. And that is so sad, because I know men like that, and people just, they can't go to work because they've been made a fool of. What did you cook for your wife this morning? Oh, what's wrong with you? What juju did you eat? you know, it is what it is, and it is sad. And it's such a hard thing to control, because a good man is a good man.
a good
What do
man
you
is a
do
good
with him? He's already good. It's not
man.
like
No,
you have to educate him now to be bad. What do you do?
let's try to put it in this perspective. A situation why this man is good, has been good, but because of family pressure, he now feels just to please the family, he feels that he now needs to be all star, suddenly change from being good to
Yes.
I don't even to being bad and possibly even worse as a human being. What should the woman who has found herself in this position do? What should she do? Mrs.
Move as
Alison.
far away as possible.
I would say I would suggest that one thing that is key to any relationship or any marriage is
Yes,
communication.
that's right.
When there you see some signs that are not to the that can affect the dynamics, the home dynamics adversely, then the woman need to speak out in a respectful manner, in trying to tell her husband this, because women can sense danger faster than men. And that is one of the advantage a woman has over a man. You can
Mm-hmm.
actually, women can sense danger fast, because men are moved by what they see, but women are not moved by what they see. They can listen to their instincts. They can be on the lookout for signs that are dangerous to the family, or to that will be detrimental to the peace of the family. So it's always good to have communication that this is what is happening. And when a man listens to you, able to take on what you've said perfectly, and even when asking questions, what do you see? What do you mean? And they are able to discuss in the comfort of their bedroom.
So
Then,
true.
yes, wisdom needs to be applied. You understand? And one of the ways is that because the man is the head of the family, the woman cannot say, you, this family, don't come again. Don't come to this house. It's the man. And one of
It's
the things,
not
and
the
that's why,
best thing to do.
yes, that's the why the men needs to be sensitized properly, because part of their role is to provide security and to provide support for the woman's emotional needs. Because the Bible says we are weaker vessels. It
So
doesn't
true.
mean we
So
are not strong, but we are weaker vessels.
all
And
right.
when
Can
you're
I
going
quickly
through
tell our
emotional,
audience? If I may quickly go in here, Miss Alessandra, that was awesome. Can I quickly say this, family? If you want to call in, all right, I did send the number out there for you to call in. The number to call in is +234 on WhatsApp, definitely on +234 915 6 166 290 +234 915 6 166 290. That's the number to call, family, and we can't wait to hear from you. We want to hear your comment. Bridget, I know this is your area too. I mean, would you want, if you want to call in and just give us some of your nuggets, that will be awesome. As well, we would like to hear from you. And this is coming from Bridget. Let me just read this to the family. It says, this problem is the socialization problem, societal problem, I'm sure, and families with confident fathers teach their sons how to treat their wives by never talking down their mothers. Okay, so I think in here she's trying to provide solutions to this, and it is to say, okay, in order for us to have this tamed, controlled, as the case may be, there is a need for home training. All right. I think we spend a lot of time teaching our girl child, you should be respectful, honor your husband, cook, clean the house, do this and that. But who is teaching our men? Who is teaching our men though? Because women go into marriages, and they practice all the things that at the home front, what they've been taught. But then the men, I mean, instead of reciprocating, they seem to have the difficulty, accepting and giving as well. So they only accept and they don't give back. And after a while, the woman gets tired. Because if you keep practicing how to treat your husband, how to do well, and everything, and instead of a reciprocal respect, nurturing, security, provision, protection, and all that, the man is the other way around. So is it not very important on the need for us to also train our boy child at the home front?
There's a lot of problems right there with that, the boy child. I grew up in a wonderful home, But my brothers were never told to wash dishes or do chores. I never saw it as an issue. I never saw it as a problem. It was very normal for me that we wash the dishes, we do the floors, boys don't do anything, because that's what probably our mothers saw when their mothers raised them and their brothers. So they just did the same. I just grew up and evolved into a different person and realized that they have to do their share. You've got to build a home before you build a house. Everyone builds a house and thinks how beautiful they're going to make it. Oh, lovely lounge suite, this, that, lights here, lights there. You got to build a home. And to build a home, you got to hold that family together and share and teach respect and value. Respect is something that you don't just give. It is earned. So even when you're telling your girl child, you have to respect your husband. It is important. You don't just give respect. Respect is earned. You're supposed to teach them how to pass it on, give it, receive it. And you got to teach the boys how important the woman is, because she builds a home where you can thrive, a home where she'll nurture you. And he's got to teach her boys that. By doing that, you have to include them in the decisions, the chores, how they treat their sisters, how they treat her, reprimand them where necessary. But boys are just left to go out and play, and the girls are working indoors.
I think what I want to just chip in is that most fathers are absent fathers.
So we have absent
fathers. And one of they have absent fathers. And one of the things is that children model what they see at home. They model, so that pattern will follow into when they are starting their own home. And the culture is not helpful because they feel it's accepted. They feel it's a normal way of life. So unless we can have some boys who are actually don't want to see don't like how their father has treated their mother, and they are intentional, they're deliberate, say, no, I'm not going to do that to my wife when I get married. We have some of them like that, but not all.
You also have the boy, you're teaching him all that, and the father comes along and says, you're making him a woman, you're making him weak. What's wrong with you? Make him a man, And that is a problem too. When girls cry, she's emotional, bless her. When the boys cry, why are you acting like a girl? Like they're not allowed to show emotion. So we play a major role there when we do things like that.
So foundation of a family is actually key.
Absolute key.
To breaking those patterns, you understand? And one of the things is that the father needs to model. If he wants his own child or his boy children to have a good home and follow that pattern, it starts from how you are treating their mothers. That's really key. So that's evidence-based.
Someone once said, if you want your children happy, treat their mother good.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'm just trying to support what you have just said now.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's get to the solution part. But before we do that, all right, there is this particular question that I would like to read, and this is coming from social media, and this is from Felix from Texas, and Felix says, is gender balance solely a woman's issue or an economic issue?
It's both.
This is coming from Texas.
It's both. I think
it's both. It's both.
Yes.
I think I will agree to that. Yes, definitely.
Yes,
so.
It's both.
This go. And then this is also coming from Rabiu from Kano. I was married to my husband at a very tender age due to the death of my father. Hence could not finish my studies. I have the intention of going back to school, but my husband has refused because his aunt, who all our children are in school, has advised him not to do so. What should I do? It's really choking me.
Ah,
There you go.
you have to take the bull by the horn.
Absolutely.
And one of the things is that because of the culture from the north, there are girls
Yes.
who marry girls very early, 13, 12, you understand. So I can really understand where that girl is coming from. And there is a
Mm-hmm.
lot of child abuse. You understand what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And
I
one of
do.
the things is that if she wants to know, she wants to, there are consequences, and she's ready to
Hmm.
bear those consequences. I think, first of all, she's not going to take the bull by the horn by being angry, by saying, no, I have to go to school. She will tell her husband that, you know what, this has been my desire, and I want to
Okay.
fulfill that desire. Be
Right.
honest about it, be intentional. Then, if you know any other family that is that can listen to that, the husband can listen to and believes,
Hmm.
is not believing in that culture. So you have to apply wisdom and tell the person. But then, if the shove come to the shove, oh, you can go to, if you want to go to school, you need to go to school. Unfortunately, because you will feel unfulfilled, and that can affect you for life. But it has to be your choice. But be ready for
Hmm.
those, they will be hard times, because you had to deal with the hard times. I don't know whether they will take your children from you, but however, you know the household, do what is
Hmm.
you think is reasonable to do. What is
Do what
reasonable?
is reasonable to do. Awesome. Awesome. Good answer there. Good answer there. All right. Let me ask this the question. We need solution, don't we? We
Yeah.
need to get these things resolved because again, like I said, some women. Now, let me give another a typical example. There's a lady by the name of Sinachi, a good, artist. This lady lost her life as a result of her husband's, you know, um, jealousy, envy,
Beating.
whatever you. The lists are endless. There was nothing this man didn't do to this lady. Up to a point of even grooming our children to be beating her up. At the end of the day, she lost her life. All because her husband, she lost the money that she was bringing home, but he just could. He loved the money that she was bringing home, but he just couldn't handle our success. So we're also losing our women, just because of this imbalance situation at the home front. In other words, our men having difficulty accepting their
And some
wives.
people can use
Expect
religion. I think religion is part of what actually killed Ochin or Onasishi, or I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Osinachi,
Osinachi.
Osinachi.
I think religion, the fact that in Christendom too, they see it as especially, and she was a popular woman who was singing so well. She was
Mm,
well known, and
she was
she
well.
thought she's going to bring a kind of disrepute to her to her to her standard as a popular gospel singer, and to her religion and to her church. So, and some of them, they use Christianity to blind themselves, or the husband saying, see, look at you, you're not even a Christian, you are supposed to be submissive to your husband. So
Yes,
some
yes,
people use Christianity as a form of cover up, you understand, and some
yes.
women fall into that without taking a stand of, you know what, I want to live, I don't want to die. But most importantly, they also maintain a culture of silence, which is being perpetuated in Christendom as well, that, God will give you the grace to bear. Once you start feeling a kind of mental health, I'm finding it traumatic, the best thing is to get out of that marriage. It's affecting your overall well-being. It's giving you panic attack. You are not safe anymore. You are feeling terrible, and it's affecting your blood pressure. Separation for the start, to separate and then be able to
Mhm.
move on with your life, because
It's very
your life.
difficult, for some women to move on. It's like a Stockholm syndrome. When
Yeah,
they abuse, they hang on to the abuser.
yeah.
They don't feel
Yes, they
worthy,
don't
so
feel
they just
happy.
stay there. That
Oh,
that is so sad. I didn't know about. Is that the singer Sinach that died?
Yes.
no, no, God forbid.
Was it
Sinach didn't that this is Osinati,
oh
Osinachi,
someone
not
else?
Chinati. God
Osinachi.
forbid, God
Oh, I
forbid,
thought it
God.
was the gospel singer. I was like, oh my word. Okay, now
Oh,
that's fine.
no, 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 God forbid, God forbid. She's going to live very long in
Yes,
Jesus' name. Okay, fine. So we've mentioned tradition, we've mentioned society, but there is an aspect to this that we haven't actually looked at, and this has to do with friends. Friends. I mean, isn't it important for our men to choose rightly in terms of the kind of friends that they flock with? Because most times, even when a man wants to do right, his friends might be an obstacle to this. What do you have to say concerning that?
yeah, friends
Anyone can
can
just.
play. They can play a major role. When men are with men, there's this big act of I am. You know. So as we said earlier, be nice, be nurturing for a man is like a sign of weakness. He might be the nicest man, but his friends will see him as a fool. So he might want to prove his point.
He might
And then
want
the
to prove to them.
niceness goes away. So friends can be very influential. Men
Friends can be.
do have a difficulty with that. Friends can be very influential, whereas a woman can be much tougher in that regard because, especially if we love our men, boy, you can't tell us nothing. If we love him, he can be as ugly as sin. We see beauty because that's the way we are designed. We love, we love.
We
You
love, we
know,
love.
we love. So even ugly becomes pretty, handsome. But men, on the other hand, I think, just my opinion, are easily influenced. He might have the
Mm,
most beautiful wife, but because she's looking good, she has a career, she's driving a nice car, the friends are looking, they're a bit jealous too,
mm,
and
mm,
they don't have nice things to say. So he goes under pressure and he says, you better stop wearing those clothes, you better stop driving that car, and stop the school nonsense, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't even know why he's saying that. He's just been jacked the lad and he's under pressure. So friends
mm.
can play just like family. Friends are the same. They can play a bad role in someone's marriage. And that is why a couple, as you say, have to think together, where two becomes one, and choose the right friends. Just choose the right people to mix with. And that's also hard because who are the right people? We only
All
know
right.
they're right when they're right. If they're wrong, we find out and they've normally devastated you or have already hurt you. And now you find out it's the wrong person. It's like having a girlfriend and next thing she got your man. You know, and you think
Okay.
this is my best friend. It's the same thing
Wait,
with men. This could be, oh,
wait,
I like
wait.
him. He's so nice.
So
Fantastic. 28 minutes
one
more.
of the things I
28
want to
minutes
say
more.
is that
Okay. Please go ahead.
the man must do a kind of self-awareness. The woman too must
Self-awareness.
Yeah.
awareness. Yes. Who am I? You understand? And then
Yeah.
two, the woman must know their self-worth.
Yep.
It's very important. And then two, the three of them must have shared values, shared goals. That's when all things can work together. There will be differences, but when they have shared goals, when they are committed, they will not want anybody to stand in between the two of them. So it's really important. So the choice of friends you have, does it align with your goals, with your lifestyle, with your values? The values of integrity, honesty, openness, transparency, all those coming. And what about the woman? So that you two of you have become one and nobody can come inside in between the two of you. Even the family cannot come in, because now that you have a new family, they come first. You are devoted to your family, and
Yeah,
the two
that's
of
fine.
you, your communication skills are really good. There will be differences, but when you have shared values, those will come in a way to actually mend things as time as if there is any difference
Acceptance.
between the two of you, you can find a way of, and listening to one another, listening to each other. It's very key. Listening, because communication is key. It's
Is
not
key.
like when he wants to come, you don't listen. You can be listening, but you are not actually a doer. You are just
So
saying,
true.
I'm listening, and you are not listening. So part of
That's
it
right.
is that the two of you must be committed to the values of your marriage. It is very, very
Fantastic.
important.
Okay, let me drop this in, family. What role can the family, NGOs, churches, and the government play to support the girl child and women in our society? What role can, family members, NGOs, churches, the government, the society at large? What role can they play in order to support the girl child and women in our society?
They
A
can
lot
have
of awareness.
awareness campaigns. They can have empowerment seminars, conferences, educational programs, using social media, TV, using the pulpit. You're a priest. You're standing in the front. But some of those priests are men too. They don't
Mm,
believe it either. So you can
okay,
tell the priest it's about time to talk about the girl, child, and empowerment. And no, 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 not here for that. So
okay,
it can work and it cannot work, but they all have a role to play to build a community. They all have a role. Even your local police station has a
that's
role
right.
to play. I used to
Yeah.
invite the police down and take kids down to the park and have an ice cream party and let the
Okay.
kids get into their cars and drive around with the parents there and tell them what the police are, who they are, because most parents threaten their children with the police. So the
Hmm.
police becomes the boogeyman. So we use that to show children that he can also help you.
That's
And the
right.
church needs to adopt that attitude of, I'm not only here to preach, I'm here to build a community. I'm not only here to tell you about God, I'm here to tell you about the value of having God in your life. I'm not
That's
here
right.
to show off my building. Look at our beautiful building. What's the name of your church? Oh, the Living Waters. Well said. That's not going to do it for you. It's your relationship with God that's going to do it. So
Hmm.
families need to be taught that you build a home, you build a relationship with the God of your understanding. You don't just preach what you think is right. There's a whole community at stake. There's a whole generation at stake, and priests need to take control of that. They need to do it the right way. So does your local station. So do your NGOs. Now, it's great to be an NGO. There's loads of money out there. We can get funding. We can get this. We can do that. What
And,
programs do you
Okay.
have in place? Put programs in place that educate women and empower women. Programs in
Mhm.
place that address the girl child and the boy. Because if we concentrate on one, we lose the other.
Fantastic.
So
and another
just
one
Yeah,
is that what the government can do, the power of policies. We have to put
legislation.
frameworks, the policies, laws that will protect women and that will protect their child. And there has to be a kind of sensitization, because some laws, they have difficulty in putting some laws into practice. And there
okay.
has to be jingles, you understand, and respect for that girl child. And one of the things is that then the family commitment is really key. The family must be able to stand together, because you understand, the family must be able to be stable as well, because it involves everybody, every stakeholder. The family is a stakeholder in this girl child thing. The government is a stakeholder in this girl child thing. You understand, the community, and especially women who are nurturers, they are also stakeholder in this girl child thing, and they are boys. So they should not say, oh, girls, the boys will be sleeping, and the girl, they will wake up the girl. Oh yeah, go to the kitchen. Let's go and make some food. The boys should be introduced into how to make food, how to wake up early in the morning, how to build home as well. Because the two of them, when they get older, when they are adults, they can also manage and pass on that pattern, that commitment, that making sure they're upholding their family. So it's also
Okay.
very, very, very good.
Beautiful. Now let's address this a woman who wants to follow her path. She's career oriented. She's an entrepreneur. She wants to hold her honors. She has respect for her husband. She loves people. She's very endearing, but she seems to be confronted with what we're dealing with right now. What do you tell that woman? How does she know? Because I've seen some women who have actually, out of, okay, I'm tired of this. Let me drop the battle. If the man is not going to be, if he's not going to accept my my career part and all that, and but by the way, this was never discussed, okay? Maybe before they got married. But now that they're married, the man is putting pressure on her and so on. So what should she do?
Well, she has a problem on her hands, and we don't have the solutions really as to what she's going to do, because the person she married was probably in a no-go area before she got there. And a lot of us do see the signs, but we fall in love or we get married, and then we start looking for a solution to change something that was there already. And no one wants to be divorced. No one wants a broken home. So we have to find that balance of how to overcome this. She is all successful. There he is watching her behaving, as my dear lady said, narcissistic behavior. What she can run, or she can aim for change. How she aims for change, the same people we mentioned earlier play a role. The pastor, the NGOs, the social workers, the police, everyone can have a role in bringing him to his senses. There might be a problem on her side. Maybe she is overplaying her role, showing off a bit and demeaning him. You need to recognize all these things and bring it together and see what we can do and try. And while you bring it together, look for the solution there, because you're dealing with now two personalities here. Absolute two personalities.
We want peace at home, don't we, Mrs.
Absolutely.
What
I'm going to say is that if a situation in your home is causing, even though you did not see the red flag before you got married, and the man starts showing a kind of, maybe you are rising and it starts showing, then you should do a reflection. And then part of this, wisdom needs to be applied. But if you think, because at the end of the day, you are bringing income to the home, to the table. There are some of, and for you, that's your own, that's your purpose. And you don't want to let go of your purpose. And one of the things you can do is to have a discussion with your husband. These are the challenges I am having. If not, I don't know, you can call people that you trust and you think your husband will listen, call them so that you can discuss how you are going. But if it's affecting your mental health, seek help. Seek help. I won't say because there are so many men who will just want to clap your wings because they don't want you to fly. They think by flying we put their role into the headship into jeopardy. But it's up to the woman. The ball is in the woman's court. Because for me, I like to be financially independent. I don't want to say, I want to buy bra, I want to buy dress. I start going to my husband. For me, I don't personally like. So it depends on individual choices. But you find a way, responsible way of handling that situation.
Can I quickly interject? Yes. Monica said sometimes these family meetings create more problems than resolving the issues.
Yes, that's why you have to know the person you are going to talk to. You don't need to call, because if you call families, sometimes it might not, it depends. There's some
they,
family who are supportive
they,
of you.
they make the problem bigger, especially
They
if
made the
they've been
problem bigger.
jealous.
And there's some,
Yes.
and you
If
will
they've
know.
been jealous, sorry, just a moment. If they've been jealous of the
Yes.
woman at home, if they feel that, oh my gosh, she's always, and a husband ever tabling the situation, or even her tabling the situation could just spark a problem. So, how do we create a balance in here? Because we want peace, but at the same
So
time,
that,
a
yeah,
woman should not
discernment. Yeah.
petition her purpose on earth
Yeah.
just because she needs to stay married.
Discernment comes into play. You have to be discerning. It's not everybody you can call into when you have problems with your husband, or the husband has a problem with the wife. It's not everybody you have to call. You have to be discerning. You have to apply wisdom. You have to be discerning in who you are going to invite into your problem with your spouse. You have to know. So you cannot call a family that all the time they're jealous of you. They're jealous because you're a high-rise woman. They're jealous of the way you are dressing. It will be stupid. I'm sorry to say that, to call families like that. You can see in between lines. We, as women, we can see in between lines. So just do what you feel it's okay for you to do, but at the same time, you have the power to take a decision, and be ready with the consequences of your decision, because your decision is your choice, is your reality, and it's something you are not going to regret. But at the end of the day, your happiness matters. Your happiness and your fulfillment as a woman, self-actualization, according to Maslow's theory, matters.
That is so true. Unfortunately, if the woman is too abused, she gets used to that. It becomes her norm.
Exactly.
And
Yes,
then she
let the woman.
suddenly wakes up and she says, I'm in a rut. I need to get out. And she doesn't know how. Her mental uh, her well-being is at stake here. She has now mental issues. She's attached. She becomes afraid. And then it's so difficult to move, to call for help. And as you said earlier, they just stay there very quietly, just taking this abuse, taking it and taking it. And that's where eventually either he's going to kill her, she's going to kill herself. Something bad is going to come out of it because she stuck it for so long, it became her normal life. Oh, it's okay.
They call
It's
it,
like jealousy. They
yes,
don't, they say,
they call
my
it.
husband's very jealous, cause he loves me. You're never jealous of something you love. When you love, you love. You
And
When
love
you
sometimes
it
they call it
unconditional.
in trauma. They call it because sometimes they think, oh, this couple are so compatible, and it could be that the woman is trauma bonding.
Absolutely. She's trauma bonding. Love is unconditional. Even if your
Love
man
is
makes a
selfless.
mistake or the woman, it's unconditional. You can say, okay, love, we can
Selfless.
get by that. We can get by. We made a mistake here. As you say, too, talking it out. We made a so we try again. Yeah, we do this, we do that. But this love has conditions. It's not unconditional. I married you, you ungrateful woman. I put a ring on your finger. You're just ungrateful. Who would
oh
have
my
married
God,
you? Nobody would have
ladies, it's
taken you.
on and on. So much to talk about here, but we just have 3 minutes to leave the show. I wouldn't know what is going on in your heart right now, and I want you to speak to that woman that is hurting. She doesn't know what to do. Her home is hurting, and she does not know what to do next. So, Miss Marissa, can you kindly address that woman right now?
She's got to love herself. She has to start learning to love herself. Because if there's no love inside of you, you've got nothing to give. Like money in a purse. If you want money from, if I don't have it, I don't have it. I can't give it to you. She's got to love herself so that she can love and kick it out. Once she loves herself, the strength will automatically come because a woman who loves herself gets confident. She starts to believe in herself. But the problem is you're so hit down, you're so torn, you can't raise your head. You see ugly in the mirror. You see ugly. Your clothes, everything around you is ugly.
mm,
because you're not loving yourself. To give it, get it. Love yourself. It will help build confidence. It will help build yourself that you can move and that you can face your demons. And if he's a
mm,
bad man, accept he's a bad man and face those demons. And if he's that bad, then you have to make choices. And they might not be the best choices, but you've got to self preserve. You've got to put yourself in front because when you go in front, you put your children there. If you go down, they go down with you.
mm.
And they
Um,
think that's normal.
yeah.
They think that's the way life is. Like an abused child, they always say, I didn't know I was being abused. I thought everybody did this. That's what
Mm,
happens with children. So I think this is normal. So the mother has to love herself. She has to perk up. She has to find the right means and the right people to talk
mm.
to because people will let you down. And never forget to get on your knees because when you're down, you look up. Get on your knees.
I love that. When you're down, you look up. We're not seeing Miss Alexandra right now. I think she's probably
Yeah.
handing one or two things. But
Yes.
Because
but, but
when
let
you're
me.
standing, your head
What do you want me to say?
is,
I understand. I understand your situation. Now, I wanted to address the man who feels threatened by his wife's success. What do you say to that man?
Yeah, I will tell the man that because one of the things is that some men can come from a dysfunctional home, and
Hmm.
it depends on the background of those men. And then some men can have unresolved trauma, which has affected them, especially when it comes to poverty. You
Okay.
understand? And they see it depends from their home. So I want to be objective about this, about the because it depends on the background of their home. So that have affected. Because if you suffer from attachment or abandonment, that could
Hmm.
affect your esteem, your
Yes.
worthiness. So that those things could affect. Or probably you've left home at the age of 10, because we have some men who have left home from the age of 10, and they've been
Yes.
moving around, moving around, moving around. That could affect them. So they could find those experiences very traumatic. So what I would say is that the man should actually seek help. That is, it has to be intentional. Some men will not seek help. They see help as
Mm.
somebody who is weak. They don't realize that when you are actually seeking help, you know there's a problem here. That is a sign of strength. So some men might think because you will have sought advice from other friends, they will say, what do you mean? You understand? But if the man is really committed to his home, he's really
Yes.
committed,
Very
then
committed.
he needs to seek help, because he might need a professional counselor. And
Hmm.
yes, and but if the man is actually intentional and he realizes, because you don't seek help if you don't realize you have problems. So the person must actually seek help. The man should be able to seek help. And then that's when she can actually enjoy the relationship, enjoy the power of two, and doesn't feel intimidated. Because one of the things is that the two of you are one. If you add, it is the value you add to a wife, that's the value you will get. If you don't
So
add value, if you add rubbish, then you will get rubbish in time of problems, in time of needs. So the man must not be, a man must not be intimidated by what a woman is doing, is rising.
yes.
One thing that a man should also do is to make sure that they too, they are upping their own knowledge, they are increasing their own skills. You understand?
Mhm.
Because some people can feel demoralized because they are not able to do what the woman can do. They are not able to provide for the whole.
We're
But
gifted differently, aren't we?
yeah.
yes. So they're not able to provide, and they think, oh, I'm a man. I cannot be a man anymore. They start crying. Like, I'm not,
Yeah.
cannot be a man anymore. They think they're taking that power. They see headship as power. But if you see your the supporting role of a woman as complementary, it makes it easier. And if you provide an enabling environment, the better. Because whatever the woman is earning, whatever how how high the status of that woman, you are going to enjoy it. We've
At the
seen,
end of the day, you're going to
yes,
enjoy it. Well, let me start by appreciating, Mrs. Grace Alexander and Miss Marisa. You have both done marvelously well today. As a matter of fact, we've all enjoyed you, even all our audience, everyone, watching can attest to the fact that you've really done justice to the topic of today. Now, let me speak to this, to everyone watching. If you are a woman, don't let this stop you from achieving your purpose and goal in life, because your success does not hinder your spouse's success. As a matter of fact, if there's anything at all, it helps both of you to be able to achieve your desired result, and of course fulfilling your goals, whether in terms of being able to achieve things, buying things, um, helping with the children's school, many things, as a matter of fact. So it's an additional blessing. And I would also want to say that the rise of a woman is not the fall of any man out there. There should be an opportunity for a woman to fulfill destiny. Allow that woman be. She is not competing with you. She's only complimenting you. And by not allow her be everything that she's ordained to be on earth, you are simply adding sadness, frustration, and depression to that woman. When a wife is not happy, automatically everyone in the house is never going to find joy. So allow your woman be everything that God has ordained for her to be on earth. And to our women out there, may I quickly say this. Whilst God is blessing you, whilst God is doing everything beautiful for you, also don't forget the place of your husband and children. Be a wife and be a mother at the end of the day. To every girl out there who is yet to say yes in terms of marriage, choose the man that will be very supportive to your desired goal in life. Don't ever pick a man that you can see, maybe the red flag that immediately tells you that after marriage, this man is never going to allow me be who I am. Run, and I mean run, because that alone can be a killer thing for you. We do not want a repeat of Osinachi happening in the lives of our women. And to everyone that has been part of today's Mama Helen and You show, we want to say a big thank you to you. I can start mentioning them. So I will just mention by countries, because I can see some of you are also reflecting that in your comments. America, thank you. Africa, thank you. Europe, thank you. UK, thank you. My Warri people, thank you. Lagos, thank you. Abuja, thank you. Ghana, thank you. The list are endless. Thank you so very much indeed. We've really enjoyed you. Should you have some questions as a follow-up to what we've done today, don't hesitate to call or by WhatsApp or send a text or message. There is, and it is +234 915 6166 290. God bless you. Thank you so very much for being a part of this wonderful show today. God bless you, and bye bye. Bye.
Thank you.
thank you.